I never imagined the night would end like this. That evening began like so many others. I came home late from work, tired and distracted, pushing into the little living room, grabbing a cup of tea from the kitchen. My parents, my mother and father, were unusually quiet. I assumed they were reading or watching something on TV, but there was this strange tension in the air. My mother kept glancing out the window toward the backyard. My father was pacing just inside the door. Something about their body language made me uneasy, but I brushed it off. After I sat down and asked how their day was, my father didn't respond. He just turned and walked toward the back door with my mother following him. They opened the door quietly. I heard the creak of wood on hinges, then the soft scuff of feet on the porch. Before I even realized they were leaving, they stepped outside. I got up, puzzled, and moved to the window to peer out. In the dim glow of the porch light, I saw them carrying something. A long wooden box, stained dark, rectangular, solid. It looked heavy, awkward. They walked side by side across the yard, toward the riverbank behind our property. My heart skipped. What are they doing? At first I thought it was some old furniture, or maybe a planter box. But as they approached the river's edge, my pulse pounded. They paused, looked around as if checking to see if anyone was watching. Then together they lifted the box and threw it over the bank. It crashed somewhere into the river, the splintering thud swallowed by darkness and the splash. They stood there for a moment, as if frozen in guilt or regret. Then, turning away, they walked slowly back, heads bowed. I pressed my face to the glass. What was inside that box? I waited until I was sure they were gone, then slipped out the door. The night was quiet, the moon half hidden by clouds. I moved across the backyard, heart pounding. The ground was damp. I crept to the riverbank and peered over the edge. The water there churned a little. Driftwood and reeds floated past. I couldn't see the box. I called quietly. Mom? Dad? No answer. I strained to hear anything. At first there was nothing but water and insects. Then, faintly, a sound. A moan? A whisper? It came from somewhere beneath the surface of the rippling water, near where the box had landed. I leaned forward. My reflection flickered on the water. The box must have broken open or cracked, letting something emerge, or something trapped inside was alive. I scrambled down the bank, mud sliding under my feet. I felt a tug of panic. What if it was dangerous? What if they had killed someone, or done something worse? But I couldn't stop. My curiosity overrode fear. I knelt at the water's edge and called softly. Hello? The sound came again, a weak cough, like someone trying to speak but unable. I slid my hand into the cold water, groping. I felt wood, then a hand. A soft whimper. My skin went cold. I grasped hold of something, pulled, and out came a small dark box lid. The rest was deeper. I froze. I knew I needed to get help, but I also knew if I went inside myself I might drown. I pulled back and ran to the house, shaking, soaked in mud and cold. Key in hand, I burst in and slammed the door. My parents were there, in the living room, just as before, as though nothing had happened. They gave me blank looks. My father asked, "Why are you muddy?" My mother just stared. I didn't answer. Instead, I said, "What did you throw in the river?" My voice shook. They exchanged a look, sharp, for a moment. My mother's eyes went distant. My father's face drained. My heart pounded so loud I expected them to hear it. Then my mother whispered, "You shouldn't have seen that." My father started to say something, but I interrupted. "What was in the box?" My mother sighed and looked away. After a long moment, she spoke. Her voice cracked. "Your sister." I'm going to pause here. You probably feel... Behind me, I heard footsteps. My mother and father stood in the doorway, faces ashen. My father said, "We tried to save her." My mother cried. "We couldn't let her suffer." I looked at them, then back at her. My heart shattered. I said, "You all deserve a chance. Truth deserves a chance." We called the police, informed them, explained everything. It was messy. They were arrested. Investigations began. The world would know our secret. But in the process, she was rescued. She was taken to a hospital, mentally stabilized, assessed. I visited her daily. Her memory would come in pieces, but she was alive. Now, months later, as I sit by her bedside, holding her hand, I think of that night. The box, the water, the secret that tore our lives apart. I hate what my parents did, but I see their fear, their despair. I see love twisted by trauma. They believed they were doing the right thing, and they failed. If someone told me years ago that my parents would throw a wooden box into a river to hide my sister alive inside it, I would have laughed. But the trauma, the secrecy, the lengths people go to hide pain, I've lived it. I carry it now. This is my story. The box, the river, the hidden sister. What they hid inside wasn't just a body. It was a broken soul, a secret that refused to stay buried. If you ever feel you're carrying burdens too heavy, secrets too dark, remember, truth has weight, but it also has power. What is hidden might be revealed, and sometimes, what shocks us the most is what we need to heal.